How's it going, boys and girls? My name is Kai and welcome to the first episode of r/Ohnoconsequences, a subreddit where people play the stupidest games and in return win the stupidest prizes. I don't want to hold you up for too long, so without further ado, let's get right into the stories. Told a girl he doesn't want a relationship, gets angry when she finds a boyfriend. Am I the asshole for feeling upset that a girl that I was friends with, benefits with, got a boyfriend without even saying a word to me? Oh, I can already tell the path this is going down. I, 23 male, just got out of a very toxic relationship and wasn't ready to be with anyone yet. I basically didn't want another relationship and wanted to focus on myself for once, until I met her. We first started communicating when I had to get her number for work. I was the instrument manager for the orchestra and needed to contact one of her friends, so I took her number to reach out. I didn't think we'd talk again, but later she responded to a post I made about relationship trauma in men. She replied saying women go through it too, and that led to a long conversation where she ended up trauma dumping about her past. After that, we started talking more regularly. Things were fine until she sent me a one-time view image saying she liked me. Mentally, I wasn't in a place for a relationship, but after hearing everything she had gone through, I didn't want to hurt her feelings. Plus, she was cute and nice, or so I thought. After several deep conversations, she invited me to her place. Since we had just met and she had only recently told me she liked me, I thought it might not be appropriate, but I agreed to come over that Saturday. When I got there, we planned to watch a movie. She made me food, I set up the projector, but then she came into the room wearing just a bra and shorts. I tried to brush it off, but throughout the movie she kept hinting at wanting to kiss. I ignored it a few times but eventually gave in and kissed her. A mistake. Afterwards, I felt conflicted. I broke my own rule of not getting involved. I didn't know how to tell her I didn't want a relationship, so I stupidly asked her best friend for advice. That blew up in my face. Her best friend told her, and she went off on me. I apologized for not being honest, and eventually I told her the truth. She seemed to understand. Here's where I messed up again. Sounds like you've been doing a lot of that already. I asked if we could just be friends with benefits. I'll admit I enjoyed that night with her and I thought it could be a mutual agreement. She agreed, and a couple of days later I went over again. We kissed, watched a show, and she even gave me a gift. I felt like an asshole because she clearly had real feelings. A few days later I went to a party and I realized I might actually want to try being with her. But when I reached out, she had already gone home for the summer. I asked about her plans and she casually mentioned going to the beach with her friend and her boyfriend. I was shocked. Boyfriend? I had no idea she was even seeing someone. I asked when this happened and she said it was a week ago, the same night I left her place. Basically, she had been talking to both of us. I was heartbroken. I know we were just friends with benefits, but I feel like she could have at least told me she wanted a boyfriend. When I told her how I felt, she said it didn't matter because I wasn't actually dating her. After that, stopped talking to her. So am I the asshole for being upset? That's a very touchy subject. That's why I don't personally do the whole friends with benefits situation. It's a whole mess just waiting to blow up in your face. It's so stupid. I'm gonna be so honest. In reality, she did tell you she wanted a boyfriend. She literally told you that she liked you, and I'm assuming since you were the one who said you wanted to be friends with benefits, that wasn't what she wanted. If she told you she liked you, she probably wanted a relationship with you, and you said no. So she went on and she found someone who did want a relationship with her, and now she's dating them. So you really have no right to be upset about it. You figured out that you wanted to be with her too late. Someone else already did it. That's your fault. It's not something you can really blame on her. I'm sorry. Now everyone knows what a nice guy he is. At some point in my late 20s, I matched with a guy on a dating app and he messaged me while I was at work. He waited a whole 3 hours for me to respond before he started sending berating messages, starting with, "Sorry I'm not good looking enough for your shallow ass," followed by messages calling me a cunt and a bitch across the next 3 days. Fed up with men who think they can treat women like garbage without consequences, I set out for revenge. It took me a while to find his socials, but I eventually did so and sent screenshots of his messages to his mother on Facebook Messenger. I didn't get a response, and without being friends with her on Facebook, I couldn't see whether she had actually received or seen my messages at all. So I sent it to his sister. She told me he wasn't that kind of guy and was dealing with a lot, even going as far as to say he was her hero. I told her he obviously is that kind of guy and to get better heroes. I then posted the screenshot in a public post and tagged him in it. This promoted him to send me a sniveling apology via Facebook Messenger, begging me to take the post down. I did not take it down, nor did I respond to his message, so he couldn't tell whether I'd read it or not. Well then, stop masking. I was reminded of this story today. It's one of those stories that at the time I wanted to commit arson, but is rather funny in hindsight. So years ago, my autistic daughter kept coming home from school in tears. Turns out the school was refusing to follow her individual education plan (IEP), which gave her accommodations because of her specific delayed developments. When we called to complain, they said it no longer counted illegal without formal evaluation meeting because she doesn't act autistic, so she'll be fine. She just has to toughen up a bit. If a school ever told me my autistic child doesn't act autistic and needs to toughen a bit, I wouldn't think about arson. I would commit arson. As most parents should be able to imagine, my reaction was going to involve jail time. Exactly. Wasn't sure for who, but I figured I'd decide by the time I got to the school. My wife, on the other hand, just gave a sardonic smile, never seen her do that before, and told me to wait. She sat my daughter down and said the following. I'll never forget because it weirded me out. Sweetie, they're saying you don't act autistic, so you don't need help. Well then, stop masking. My daughter and I stared at her in disbelief. I'm autistic too and don't do that. My wife laughed. You've worked hard to fit in with the neurotypicals of the world, and I'm very proud of that. But if they're going to say you don't need educational help because your behavior is good, then fix the behavior. They talked for a while about what that would look like. A week later, we got a call from the principal saying that we needed to do something about my daughter's behavior. It was a disruption in the school. My wife very calmly explained that if they followed her IEP like they were legally supposed to, I bet a lot of these behavioral issues will clear right up. I've always laughed when this comes up. I always forget how helpful dropping social understanding can be sometimes. I haven't had jury duty in years. This was great, and he still doesn't get it. Am I the asshole for revoking my daughter's college fund? I know it sounds bad, but please hear me out. Oh, it's gonna be awful. It's gonna be so bad. When my wife and I divorced, my daughter, 14 female, took my wife's side, which I was pretty upset and surprised about. She was 12 when we separated and we were very close, unlike her and her mother. I didn't hold it against her because she's a kid, good, and didn't know any better, and I make the effort to see her. I love spending time with my daughter. I met my current wife 4 years ago. She's a pre-law and was planning on taking loans to pay for law school. However, about 2 years later, we were engaged and I didn't want her to take on any loans, so I offered to pay for her law school. She was apprehensive, but I wanted a good start to our married life and not want any loans hanging over our heads, so she agreed. I used my daughter's college fund. Oh yeah, this is bad. I used my daughter's college fund to pay for my wife's school and planned on replenishing it so that my daughter would have a fund when it was her turn to go to college. I put a little money each month. I honestly thought this was okay because when I had asked her about college at the time of doing this, she said she wanted to go to makeup school and be a makeup artist and that college sucks. Well, apparently her mindset changed because on Sunday we met up and she was talking about AP classes. I was surprised because I didn't think she was interested in school. I asked her if she was joking, but she said that she's aiming for CS at some top private college and that her dream is to start a startup business. She then asked me if she had a college fund and she wanted to know if she could add that on an EC or get a job. I told her the truth about her college fund and that right now there's not enough money for even a year at a private college. She then started crying and making a scene and told me that she couldn't believe that I chose my wife over her mom and now I'm choosing her again over my daughter. Which is not true since my daughter is getting a fund, just not private school tuition. She then called my wife a bunch of awful names that I won't say on here. I told her that she's probably not going to get into a private school because she wasn't even serious about school 2 years ago. She called me a shit dad and ran away until her mom came to get her. Her mom later called me angrily about what I said to her and said that my daughter is on track to win some prestigious science fair award and I was way out of line with what I said and that I obviously don't know her. I was honestly so done with the BS she pulled, and her attitude towards my wife never has been good. Said I'm probably going to revoke my daughter's college fund since she obviously doesn't deserve it with what she pulled today. My daughter is now refusing to see me and calling me by my first name. I still stand by my decision. Am I the asshole?
Am I so out of touch? No, it's the children who are wrong.
Edit. I'm done with the rude comments about my wife. It's am I the asshole, not is my wife the asshole. Not that you guys deserve any additional information, but my wife is really great. I'll accept an asshole judgment for me. Whoa, we went far. Okay, sorry. I'll accept an asshole judgment for me cheating, even though it's really not what I'm asking in this post, but everyone seems to be hell-bent on it. I was a super asshole for cheating. Happy, my wife wasn't. When we met, I was 32 and she was 20. We had a casual relationship and I didn't mean to start it, but she was so amazing and had such a vibrant personality and I was really depressed at the time, but she helped uplift me. I didn't tell her I was married, only that I had a daughter, and I know that's bad, but I didn't feel married to my ex-wife at the time. But you were married to your ex-wife at the time. I was so unhappy and she was too. My wife and I had an amazing relationship and she was going to be graduating college soon. She wanted to get serious. I told her the truth and my wife was upset, but she decided to forgive me. I proposed and introduced her to my daughter and she hoped we would be a family. She was nothing but kind to my daughter, but my daughter was hostile from the minute she met her. Never gave a chance. My daughter and my mom would play cruel pranks on her, like organizing a date and never showing up, ruining her wedding dress, spreading rumors about her to all my relatives, making fun of her to her face. My wife took the high route and forgave all of that, only speaking highly of my daughter, even to her friends. She'll brag about how pretty and amazing my daughter is, and how she's sure my daughter will accept her when she's a bit older. So yes, my wife is a saint and an amazing person. Stop shitting on her. You got your backstory. Edit. I will keep my daughter's fun and try to add enough money for private school. If she doesn't apologize and consider my wife her family though, she won't be getting it. I'd rather her be hostile to me and hate me rather than my wife, since I fucked up. But my wife is feeling guilty over something that's not her mistake. Edit. So a lot of shit went down after I posted this, or because I posted this actually. My wife called my daughter's mother because she felt bad about the situation and is sad about my relationship with my daughter. She insisted on the remaining money in the account, about $45K, to my daughter in a separate fund controlled by her mother. Her mother didn't take that well and hung up on my wife after telling her that she didn't need her charity. My wife now won't talk to me because she feels I put her in a bad position and should have told her before that the money was my daughter's, because she figured that it was just extra money I had left over and not my daughter's fund. She's saying that I caused unnecessary drama and could have handled the situation way better, and that she's trying her best to fix what I broke, but she's exhausted. She's currently packing to go stay with her parents for the time, so that's that. My ex-wife is furious at me because my wife called her and she didn't want to hear my wife's bitch voice. She blew up at me for taking everything so far and is blaming me for ruining everyone's happiness. She says that I can't fix anything anymore and not to even worry about my daughter's fun because she didn't raise her daughter to get on all four knees and beg, and that she has everything figured out for her daughter now. She thanked me for putting everything in perspective and that I'm no longer permitted to visit or contact my daughter. She has full custody. I'm now sitting here typing all of this out and figuring out ways to contest custody, so that's what's happening in my life right now. I just don't get how everything got all messed up when my heart was in the right place. I don't feel wrong. How after all of that do you not feel wrong? That was a fucking whirlwind. That was a whirlwind of bullshit. I don't even know if I'm allowed to laugh at this. This is so sad. This is so sad, and not for the dad, not for him. He deserves everything that's happening to him. He deserves the wife leaving him. He deserves the ex-wife leaving him. He deserves everybody who is leaving him right now to leave him. He should be alone. This man deserves nothing.
Your life is nothing. You serve zero purpose.
Because first of all, you are putting your current wife in a bad situation. What do you mean you didn't even tell her that the money that you are using to pay off her student loans was from your daughter, and didn't tell her that you were married, and then to take away your daughter, and then to take away your daughter's college fund because she was rightfully upset about you fucking her over, to put it lightly. And then by the end of this, you still don't realize why you're wrong. The only thing I agree with you on is that people shouldn't be shitting on the wife. The current wife, it wasn't her problem. It wasn't her fault. She didn't know that any of this was happening. The only thing I agree with this man on is that people shouldn't be shitting on the current wife because it's not her fault. Anyways, boys and girls, that is my time. My name is Kai. Make sure to like and subscribe if you did enjoy the video, and also go follow me over on Twitter or even on Twitch. I stream usually every weekend. I want to stream a lot more during the week. I will try to work something out there. Or if you would like, go and join my Discord. Everything will be linked down below for you to go and click. So with that, I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace out.